Metro in yellow. That's your tornado watch that goes up until 10 p.m. The areas in pink, severe thunderstorm watch, where you could have winds at 60 miles per hour. Quite frankly, I would have covered the entire thing with the tornado watch, as these tornado warnings are starting to really develop in the severe thunderstorm watch. But again, everything up until 10 p.m. here. We'll get right to this line that really is showing some intensity over the last couple of minutes. So you've got your tornado warning down there for portions of northern Fauquier County, eastern Rappahannock County until 5 p.m. But look at this too, this severe thunderstorm warning that is just west of Frederick, Maryland, that goes until 5 p.m. This is radar indicated, so this is not sight with confirmation on it, but just west of Frederick, Maryland. Lots of lightning happening right here, as well as the potential for some spin and also some hail. Look at the hail marker. So this is all pulling east-southeast rather quickly at about 20 miles per hour. And that will extend into areas of Howard County until 5:15, that particular warning. But this is the main one down here that Mark was just focusing in on until 5 p.m. But we've got another 15 minutes or so for Fauquier, for Rappahannock County, eastern Rappahannock, and northern portions of Fauquier County. So it's south and east with a tremendous amount of lightning. This is just east of 340 here. And in terms of its track, eventually it's going to be making its way just south of I-66. We'll see if that holds together and if the warning is extended. But like we mentioned, quite a bit of spin now happening on this line. It's a cold front advancing into our area along with a trough, so there'll be plenty more warnings coming out. This one with a considerable tag on it. So this is until 5:15, as winds could be up around 70 miles per hour in the areas of Hillsborough, Lovettsville, Purcellville, and Round Hill. This is just south and west of Frederick, Maryland. You can see these are coming out pretty fast, all of these warnings for severe weather. It's been mainly for high winds issued. This system here that is just on the northwest side of Leesburg, advancing off to the east. So that'll move eventually into areas of Leesburg. We'll see too if it holds together toward Gaithersburg. But severe thunderstorm warning also for that area, as mentioned, for Purcellville, for Round Hill. It's off to the east at 20 miles per hour, crossing right over 15 with some very heavy rain. So if you know of anyone in this area, give them a heads up that there is quite a bit of severe weather happening right now. Maybe they can stay put until this blows through. Front Royal, Happy Creek area, Marshall, and Washington now south of Front Royal. Mark, has that now been discontinued, that tornado warning? I'm not seeing it up on our board anymore, but still these little areas in blue where there could be rotation anywhere along the line happening at any time. Is that now been?
Yeah, it's been allowed to expire early. I'm getting situated over here myself, but we do want to make sure that whether it's active or not, that we are still taking these warnings seriously, as serious as you would a severe thunderstorm warning. And the reason why we have these products now where we can issue severe thunderstorm warnings with the potential for some quick touchdowns of tornadoes. And that's what this big cluster of storms is getting together over portions of central Maryland. This does include some big time suburbs, Frederick, Maryland, down towards Gaithersburg, most of central Maryland. That does include our friends up in the Baltimore area. This is where we can have several touchdowns of these tornadoes that are going to likely cause some significant damage, just given how densely populated these areas are. Now, along with the threat for tornadoes in this big cluster, you have severe winds up to about 60 miles per hour. Hail has even been reported just off towards the west of up to about $0.50. That's about an inch in diameter with this cluster of storms here. Now, I've got my computer just off to the side right here. I'm going to update something really fast and just get some more products going over here. But if you're in this big severe thunderstorm warning, you got to make sure that you're taking it as serious as you would a tornado, because whether the winds come from a tornado, a quick touchdown, or a severe gust of wind, it can cause the same kind of damage. We've seen this time and time again this summer. Trees falling down on homes and on cars. You got to make sure you're taking shelter whenever you're getting those warnings on your phone there. I'm going to continue to monitor over here with our computers, which I'm just getting logged in on over here. So if you just bear with me, I'm looking for reflectivity. There we go. No, velocity. There we go. Okay, yeah. So see, all these little couplets here are why we have tornado possible in this cluster, because it's so big and there's so much spin in the atmosphere with these that we'll get these quick little touchdowns pretty much all over wherever you're in at this warning at this time.
Yeah, and Mark, I've got a wide view
Yeah.
of all the storms that are ongoing right now. You can see it's east of Hagerstown, Maryland. It's east of Martinsburg, really pretty much sitting on top of Frederick, Maryland. Leesburg, too, heavy weather. Coming into Gaithersburg, Montgomery County, Howard County, too. So this will eventually be impacting the D.C. metro area, but the tornado warning, it does continue until 5 p.m. for eastern Rappahannock County, as well as areas of Fauquier County. So we'll go right back to this here, Mark, if you can hold up there on the clicker. So it's headed toward areas around Crest Hill by 458. Cliff Mills. If you're in this area, you need to take shelter ASAP. Get to the lower level of your home, a basement. If you don't have a basement, then an interior room, something like a bathroom or a closet. But again, this is confirmed via radar, the potential for some spin and a tornado taking place within this area here. This tornado warning is for Fauquier County, for Rappahannock County, eastern portion. And you can see where some of the heaviest rain and most intense part of the storm is with the lightning there. So this is right around areas of 522 headed south and east, eventually to Fletcherville too by 522. And more on the line just to the north and east. This is all out ahead of the cold front. Very heavy rain and even quite a bit of wind coming up here around Thurmont, Route 40, down toward Frederick, just south and west of Frederick, Maryland. And these lines that you see are showing that there could be some spin happening within this cell as well. It extends all the way from the Maryland line now down to the south, southwestern Virginia too. So that's why we are seeing the tornado watch up for our area until 10 p.m. this evening. I think a lot of this, though, going to be blowing through our area by 9 p.m. So on the south side of it, Front Royal, Luray, heavy rain that'll be passing to the south and east, and also the chance for some hail. We already had a report of some $half size hail that was reported in southwestern Virginia. So any of these storms have the potential to produce just that. Winchester too, some hail reported. Hagerstown, Maryland, hail reported, and coming into the area again, could see more of that. But by far the biggest part of this storm system is the fact that we could see some damaging winds and maybe even some isolated tornadoes, looking at winds at 60, 70 miles per hour. I mentioned where to go: the basement, lower portion of your home, or even a hallway or a closet or a bathroom that may be on the lower level. That is the safest place to go to. But this is all happening because of the fuel in the atmosphere. You've got a cold front coming in, the heat of today, high humidity, all taking place along it. Now, Mark, what are you seeing right now in terms of damage reports? I showed the hail. Any reports of wind showing up?
Not yet. We're getting just a lot of this nowcasting is what we call whenever we're getting information in, whenever we're getting storm reports in. It can take some time, especially whenever we are communicating with our National Weather Service office, which we have. It's why I'm on my computer over here, and I will bounce back and forth between the camera and my monitor over here. But as we head farther into the evening, we got to make sure that while it's dry across the metro, you might be wondering, what are we even talking about? Well, there's some big time storms firing off just towards our north and west, and the main concerns are going to be storms capable of producing some severe winds, damaging winds, a high threat. But now we've even included our tornado threats at a pretty medium category as well. We've had severe tornado warnings, but nothing confirmed just yet. But whether it's a severe thunderstorm warning with damaging winds or a tornado, they can both cause similar like damage. And we got to make sure we're taking those warnings seriously, because whatever they're warnings, it means it's ongoing, not just a watch, which means that the conditions are favorable. Now, let me move back to my computer over here and show you some of the latest radar signatures that we're tracking. We still have that tornado warning, actually. So it looks like the tornado warning into portions of Virginia, which I can get this moving here in just a second. There we go. So if there's a tornado on the ground just north of Washington, Virginia. Notice it's pretty broad though. Whenever we're looking for tornadoes, this would need to be a lot closer together. So there's probably just some very broad rotation going on in the atmosphere just above areas like Washington, Virginia. This is just to the south and east of Front Royal, and it does include areas like Fauquier and Rappahannock County until 5 p.m. That's in about 5 minutes, or if it expires early. Right now, I think with about 5 minutes left, this will just go until the warning is set to expire. Now, this is producing some big time rain as well. Notice this cluster is beginning to pretty much just congeal. A lot of lightning with this as well. You got Front Royal to get your bearings here. On the very bottom of your screen, there's Culpeper, Virginia. So even though you're not in the warning right now, you're still in the watch, and that means that conditions are favorable. So as the storm moves farther towards you, you're likely to get an extension of some of these warnings. I'm going to move my monitor again over here, so bear with me for just a second. We have a big cluster of storms. I don't think I've seen anything like this with so many warnings, but the red hash marks that you see is a severe thunderstorm warnings with tornadoes possible. There's a big cluster, so we're not looking at just one tornado on the ground. We could be seeing several, and they're going to be quick. They're going to be pretty much bouncing around across the area into portions of central Maryland. This does include areas like Frederick, Gaithersburg, and even our friends up in Baltimore. And I know, VJ, what do you got in your update?
Yeah, I was just saying, I was looking at the chat from National Weather Service. They do a great job of updating us. Reports of some trees down now in the Harper's Ferry area. So that was with this line earlier as it was making its way east and southeast. But you're seeing that one little bright red box still up for areas of northwestern Fauquier County as well as Rappahannock County. That's the tornado warning. This area in yellow is your watch. The potential for some tornadoes that will go up until 10 p.m. It's for DC Metro, extending all the way to the east. That will include Delaware 2 and Ocean City, and then your severe thunderstorm watch until 10 p.m. for the rest of the area. So the big view, you can see easily where the most active weather is. We've got the tornado warning down here just south of I-66, and then up to the north, it's Loudoun County, it's Frederick County in Maryland, and Montgomery County too in Maryland, eventually Howard, as well as Carroll up to the northeast. That's where your heaviest weather is happening right now, with winds that could be currently being brought down to the surface. So again, radar indicated until 5 p.m. that tornado warning that hangs on for Fauquier and for Rappahannock County, and all these lines showing where there could be more spin taking place on the north part of this line as it advances and continues to form right near DC Metro. All right, so here's a look at Fauquier and Rappahannock County until 5 p.m. We've got fewer locations showing up onto areas of Orlean by 5:01, Cliff Mills by 5:08. To the south and east, this is going at about 20 miles per hour. Now, I'm seeing a few signs that it could be weakening a bit. We'll see. Let's hope so, but it is bringing some high rainfall rates to the area, all here for your evening rush, especially again from Loudoun, from Montgomery County up to the north to include Frederick, Maryland, Thurmont. I got to tell you, we'll get some cameras on this too for you, because 70, 270 up around 15 has to be a real mess right now with just high rainfall rates. So severe thunderstorm warning for Carroll, for Frederick, Maryland, for Montgomery County. This will be till 5:30. It's Columbia, Frederick, Gaithersburg, Rockville area all impacted with a chance for some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and even some 1-inch size hail. Mark, can you get a camera on Frederick, Maryland for us? Let's see what the skies are looking like over that area right now.
Yeah, we got our Frederick, Maryland weather camera. It just looks dark and gray right now, but notice just off towards the top left-hand corner of your screen, that wire's moving. That means that they're probably getting some of those severe winds out of the storms where we have this camera set up. And this is a part of a very big severe thunderstorm right now, where we've got a large swath of Maryland under one severe thunderstorm warning. I've got my computer over here, so bear with me while I just show you what's going on here. Here's live radar. This is that big severe thunderstorm warning. It includes areas like Frederick, Maryland, Montgomery County, northern Loudoun County, and the red hash marks means that we could see several little indications of rotation. And I'm going to advance this one more go here, and you have to maybe squint a little bit, but these little blue dots all over the place here indicate where we're seeing some rotation in the atmosphere. So this is why we got to take this severe thunderstorm warning as serious as a tornado warning, because these tornadoes are not going to be long-lived. They're going to be very bounce around where the conditions are most favorable. Now, here's one more look at the radar. This is all moving towards the south and east at a pretty good clip, and so we're going to continue to monitor what's going on around the metro. It's dry right now, but don't count on that lasting for too much longer. Models have been consistently showing this line approaching the area at about 6 o'clock, so that's about an hour, and I do expect as the storm motions get going, we could see some of these storms moving on in. We're going to continue to monitor. I believe we have our tornado warning, which is still active, VJ? Yep, still have an active tornado warning. This is until 5 o'clock, so this will likely be expiring here shortly. There we go. So that's good. We would like to see that. This is still a pretty strong storm, so we've got our eyes on this as we head into the 5 o'clock hour.
Seven News on your side at 5 starts now.
All right, we start tonight on weather alert. We've got a live look from our storm tracker right now. That's out near Warrenton, where we've continued to talk about concerning conditions that way. We've already seen multiple tornado watches, a warning, and thunderstorm warnings just over the last couple of hours. Good evening to you on this busy Tuesday. My name's Scott Duman.
I'm Michelle Marsh. Our First Alert weather team has been busy tracking a tornado warning on this active weather evening. Let's check in first tonight with Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson for a look at where things stand right now. Has that warning dropped for the tornado, VJ?
It has. Just a minute ago it dropped. Of course, that was for Rappahannock and for areas of Fauquier County. Now it's a severe thunderstorm warning that is in this area. All these areas shaded in orange, and there's quite a few in that pocket of Rappahannock, Fauquier, also including northern Culpeper County, severe thunderstorm warning. And then up to the north, some of the heaviest, it's for northern Loudoun, it's for Montgomery, for Howard, Frederick County, also Carroll County, all in severe thunderstorm warnings. And of course, the yellow, your tornado watch that'll go until 10 p.m. So it could be that long that we're watching here this line continue to produce storms on it and some active weather. But look at all this around Leesburg and Frederick and Gaithersburg, a lot of warnings. But let's go slow here and we'll pick it apart because our most intense storm was down to the south here, down around 522 south of Front Royal. That's been allowed to expire, but very heavy rain moving into areas of Fauquier County, also Culpeper County, some high rainfall rates. And all these lines that are moving through the counties that have been shaded out here with the severe thunderstorm warnings, this means that there's a tornado possible. So within this, as the line races to the east, there could be some spin taking place. And note, it's a lot of Frederick County, Maryland that's covered here, down into Montgomery. So you're looking at spots like Columbia, Frederick, Gaithersburg, and the Rockville area, right along I-70 and just about ready to move across areas of 270. We'll go down to the south into Loudoun County because that's where I want to show you. Much of this is north of Leesburg right now, but you still could get clipped with some high winds. So even though you don't have a tornado warning, a lot of high winds could potentially be taking place within this as it races off to the east. So we'll watch Loudoun, we'll watch areas right along 70 and 270 into Gaithersburg, and already there have been reports of, again, some damage throughout the area with some spin and hail, penny-sized hail potentially in that northeastern area of Loudoun County. Also, just east of Luray, there could be some hail. And look at the lightning with this as this thing comes in. So I do think once we're on the other side of this line, then things are going to start to quiet down. Even though the watch goes till 10 p.m., could end early. So make sure you stay with your First Alert weather team here. But this is just some of what we've seen today. Hail, golf ball size in the Wycliffe area of Winchester, and some trees down just north of Loudoun County, as well as our friends up I-95 there. So, of course, I'll jump back on should any more warnings be issued.
All right, we will stay close if that happens. Thank you, VJ. And as long as it is safe, we want to see any photos you're getting of weather in your area. Scan the QR code on your screen to find our Chime In submission page to send in photos and videos. You can also find Chime In on our 7 News app